welcome to our Firebrand Nation News. It's a Monday. That means we have a live packed show for you. It's going to be full of fun. We are discussing on a lot of things. You don't want to miss. You literally don't want to miss anything. But before we get right into the news, here's the intro.
Hello, Firebrand Nation. Welcome to this episode of FNN. This is the place where we tackle cultural issues, giving them faith-based insights. So if you're new here, karibu sana. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel where you can get to watch more powerful and impactful videos. Also join us on the comment section, on the chat section. Chat us up. Tell us what you think about the topics of the day. What insights do you have about the topics of the day? What's your favorite meme for the day? And let's have an amazing time. So let's get into today's episode.
Just started worshiping and praying, and I told God I desired to pray like that.
That the giftings in me have been born through Firebrand.
This is my spiritual family, that the blood of Jesus flows.
The sport that changes everything.
Firebrand is a lifestyle.
Firebrand is a family. Fire for God.
One soul matter, and Firebrand to me is that one soul.
I have been able to come up and go outside to evangelize the word.
It's really killed fear, because fear paralyzes.
Jesus never did a funeral, and he will not start with you.
The Spirit of the Lord is in me, that he has anointed me to proclaim the gospel.
Welcome again to our Monday show. And guess what? It's Monday. That means it's a hashtag panelist Monday. And today I have an awesome panelist in the building. I want them to introduce themselves, and we're going to start right in. And we have the gorgeous lady in a bob, blonde and black. Kindly tell us who you.
Hi. It's so nice and amazing to be back here at FNN. My name is Firebrand Bomb. I'm excited for today's discussion. I'm born again. I love the Lord, and I am excited. Let's do this.
Awesome. We have a gentleman. Here in Firebrand Nation News, guys, we have the gentleman. We have a gentleman in a maroon shirt. I don't know what that maroon represents, but he's going to tell us. Kindly introduce yourself, gentleman in maroon.
What up? I'm blessed. I'm Pastor Kevin. Professionally, I'm a civil engineer. Maroon is just maroon. It's how we do it. It's how we move. And I'm just hoping that we are going to have a lively show, not just highlighting the problems, but also getting solutions to them. Thank you.
Awesome. We have a civil engineer in the building. Hey, see, we are sorry, sir. We are sorry. But anyway, on to our last guest is another gentleman. He's in black. And I find a black, but anyway, there's a story behind the black. Anyway. Gentleman in black, introduce yourself.
Black and black. Yeah, I'm Josh, Firebrand Josh. You can also call me Joshua Joe. And I'm born again. Christ is Lord in my life. And I'm so excited for today's segment. I believe we're going to tackle it. It's amazing. So everyone watching, just stay tuned. Do not leave where you are. And remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment.
Awesome. I am literally excited for this show and the amazing shows that we have had. As Firebrand Pastor Kevin has said, we are not only highlighting but coming up with solutions. So as we start the discussion, as we get to talking in the comment section, kindly comment. Let's get talking. But before we do that, let's get a good laughing. It is time for our memes. We need to laugh a bit. Yeah, we need to. This mixed feelings. This weather has mixed feelings. We need to laugh, kidogo. We need to laugh. Let's go to the meme section. Onto our why? What? God. Wait, what? It is pizza.
What to give?
Actually, this pizza exists. Hii pizza inaitwa mandazi peri peri. So it exists. It exists.
Hey, mandazi peri peri. Okay. Okay.
Nasikianga wakiita manda peas.
Hadi kuna names for it. I give people of Githurai. Where did they go wrong? Like where did they go wrong?
But at least let's appreciate the person mwenye alipika hizo mandazi. Unaona how looking zimekuwa like it's a perfect match. Yeah, like
actually
even the color matches. I think the person mwenye alipika alikuwa anapika purposely for this box.
You're making it worse. Huyo mse by the way mahali ako anaumia ako yani nimechukua pesa niende nipanue pizza. Guys, we shall fight these people. Anyway, nice from Twitter. Anyway, answer our second
ilikuwa pesa ya fair. Labda ilikuwa pesa ya fair, alikula fair alafu.
Alikula.
Nile mtu amekuliza.
Imeharibika.
The second meme. Eish, what's happening here?
EPL manenos.
Wives to husbands as EPLs. Wait, am I the only one who was sad about that game that started? But anyway, I think it's because I'm an Arsenal fan, but we move on.
We are together, Pastor J.
You're not alone.
Actually,
awesome.
Let me tell you, to all Arsenal fans, I have something very special to tell you, and this is
tell us, please.
Being a bachelor and Arsenal fan, they are like this. When you two bachelor's house doesn't have cups, so anyway, get it tomorrow.
Wow. Because of that, we are being hurt. Wow.
The beginning does not matter. The end is what matters.
The end matters. We shall see you at the end.
The end is what matters.
Tunangoja muda.
The only wife material in this world is hen. She feeds her children without disturbing the husband. Should I burst the speaker? Like what? Like how? Wow! So this men don't want to be disturbed.
No, the comment kills it. The comment kills it.
No.
You marry the chicken.
Yes, and then I'm gonna nyof.
Hiyo ndio nasikianga 1-0 alafu 10-1.
10-1 like imeenda kwenda.
Ingekuwa
Uganda. The comeback was strong.
Ingekuwa Uganda ungesikia marry the chicken himself.
Marry that chicken. Marry that chicken.
Together with
that
the
chicken will not disturb you. If that chicken will not disturb you, marry that chicken. Leave us alone.
Next one, leave us alone. Don't marry the chicken.
Next meme, on to the next meme. What? Fast gardens, rain, go away. Come again another day. Rain, go away. Rain. Hold on. Wait. Wait, sisi tulikuwa tunaimba hii song au tulikuwa wengi?
tulikuwa wengi.
Hey,
We used to sing.
We were many.
Very many.
Like rain,
Up to
go
today.
away.
Up to
Come
today.
again another
And
day.
even before us,
And
some
then it
people were
comes
singing.
back another day.
Another day, rain, another day. We postpone you to another day, but it's okay. Alright, what's the next meme? Next meme. Ish. This one is minute. Bundles nitafute bwana mwingi. What?
Utafanya nini na 150?
Bundles.
What will you do with?
Oh my god. Wait, Abu Bomb, read that meme out loudly because I can't see.
I can't see, but I can read a few lines. It's asking what can you do with 150 shillings. Ndio mtu amejibu hapo atanunua bundles atafute bwana mwingine.
Sisi wanawake tu tunaingililiwa, pia mabwana wanaingililiwa, watafuta wengine wachukue na bundles.
We shall not me.
We shall go look for others. We are not advocating for that. Do not listen to that. But so it's memes. You are reading the memes out loudly. What? Okay. Next meme. Yeah, that one. Do not listen. Do not listen to what we have said. Anyway, that's it for us for the memes. Tell us whichever meme you liked. Like me, the one that nice New Year chicken. Like the best chicken is a hen. They don't disturb their husbands. Nyop nyop. And the wawa chicken. That's my favorite one. What's your favorite one, Bomb?
I think I'm going to stay with you on that one. And then mtafute is makuku. Leave us alone. Go for those 5 materials called chicken.
Say that again, please. Say that again, loudly, loud and clear.
No, but madam,
to the men here, uyo kuku akikuchokesha unamchinja, unamkula.
No, but si madam anagonga chicks.
Nabaki na the children. Okay. Pastor Kevin, which is your favorite meme?
I'll think I'll also go with that one. Like not the context is about the comeback. The comeback itself. Like it's just like 1-0 and then 10-1. Like the paradigm shift completely. So I'll just go with it.
Okay. Rev Joshua, which is your favorite meme?
I also subscribe to the same. That meme.
We have a
the reply.
It's finally
amazing.
We have a winner in the comment section. Kindly tell us which is your favorite meme. We as the panelists have chosen the one for the chicken, and only the comeback is the best one. So tell us in the comment section which is your favorite meme. And before we go into the topic of today, let's go into the giveaway video. This week we have an interesting giveaway, and it's amazing. Last time people blew the roof off, like what walienda all out in the dance. Pastor Kevin, we did not see your dance. This time we are waiting for you.
Actually,
we are waiting for the manifestation.
I made myself clear. I said, I publicly stated that I want to enter the race. But now, people came to my inbox, they pleaded that if I do it, they will be, they will have no chance of winning. So me, being very compassionate and being very considerate, I just decided to step aside so that they may also compete. So maybe next time, I don't know. Maybe first of all, I train other people first of all. So I think I'll take some months to train.
Please train us. Train us, you professional dancer. Train us, please. Train us. Train us so that we can reach the level.
Have you ever seen Pastor Kevin dancing the salsa dance? You need to see him. You need to
Hey,
see him.
it's
Your Highness,
I know
Your
he's a
Majesty.
professional. We bow down.
Hey, we are
Come
your
on, say that
honor.
again.
Try us.
No, you see,
Igwe.
dancing is not the problem. Sometimes you just find that the dance is right, but maybe it's just the song that is different. So there is a song that when that song is coming, in my mind it is being changed to a different song. I'm feeling a different song, just dancing with the beat that is going in my mind.
Oh, okay.
But trust me, trust me.
Okay.
If I train you how
maybe
to dance,
today after the show we will dance so that you can. I hope so. The studio will tell us, but I hope studio will arrange like a dance. That we dance, we see how it will. We are cracking our knuckles.
we shall dance.
Okay,
We shall dance.
Yeah, let's go into the giveaway video for this week.
What's popping, everyone? What's popping? How y'all doing? It's another week. That means it's another giveaway. Y'all last time blew the roof off with that challenge for last week, but guess what? This time we are coming with bigger and better. We have a new giveaway this week, and the challenge is going to be up on our TikTok page at Firebrand Nation. So here are the instructions for you to win. Again, this time we are also doing a dance, but it has a twist to it. So head on to our TikTok at Firebrand Nation, use that video, dance to that video, and post on your timeline. And people tag, not mention, we are tagging at Firebrand Nation, tag at Firebrand Nation on Instagram, and the winner is going to be announced on Friday during our show. So get as many people to try out and get many people to like your video so that you can win that 5,000 Kenya shillings. I hope you're doing well. I know I'm doing well. Me and my reflection, we are ace. Also you be ace.
Awesome. That's our giveaway this week. So be prepared. But as today is Monday, it's Panelist Monday. We have a treat for you. We are going to explain or give you an example of that dance after we finish the show, so that Pastor Kevin can show us his dope moves. But he's a professional. But on that point,
there is a certain quote that says that prepare for the best, but expect. Exactly.
Oh, the worst. Okay, it's okay. We shall do that. So let's get into today's.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get ready for today's videos and today's topic. And today in our topic, we are going to be discussing this thing that has been going around, teenage pregnancies that we have seen skyrocket, especially in Machakos County. It's amazing. It is shocking. Like Ezekiel Mutua released a post and said, and it was published on TV, that 4,000 schoolgirls impregnated in Machakos in the last 4 months alone. Like just 4 months. It means in every month that's 1,000 pregnant girls, and not only girls but schoolgirls. So we are actually tackling that most of these girls are not even yet matured, like they're not 18 and above, they're below that because it seems they're in high school or primary school, and 4,000 of them impregnated. This means that their life is put on a standstill. Like, what is happening? What can you say is happening? And another article he wrote, he says that this is being promoted because of the secular music, especially the Kamba people. Their songs, the secular songs they produce are literally dirty, and that can be one of the things that has promoted that. What do you think? Yes, Pastor Kevin.
Yeah. So it's shocking because it's even mind blowing when you do the statistics. Like narrowing it down. Like it's 4,000 a month, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 like a month, 1,000 a month. And then when you carry it to daily, it becomes almost 30 people. Like imagine 30 children, more or even more, being impregnated daily. So it's a shock.
Yeah.
And whatever Ezekiel Mutua is saying, it's also contributing. But we also need to remember that these are children, and in the current era of technology, very few of them listen to the Kamba songs. Very few. So we should not really blame the Kamba songs, but there are so many things. The Kamba songs, yes, they are dirty, but it should not be. Because when we start narrowing it down, we shall just focus on it, and then we miss the big picture. But I think we should go back to the basics and try to understand where the problem is. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Rev Joshua, on that one?
I think the Katitu, because that's what Ezekiel Mutua is talking about, the Katitu music. I think largely contributed because of the night dances and all that. I tend to differ because in the last like 3 months we've had the clubs have been shut and the dances so I think it's I would blame it to the moral values of that place of Ukambani and not that part. Yeah, I think the level of morality is high, and that's to blame. I would actually blame the society at large because these most kids who are impregnated were not impregnated by young people.
Yeah.
Most of them are men who have families. You get. So I think it's not. It goes beyond the music. It goes beyond music. We need to look and reconsider the moral of that area.
Yeah.
And I think it's not only that place, but recently we saw where we saw that boy impregnated the sisters. The two sisters. So it's I think it's also something to do to the like peer education and sexuality addressed at large. I think that's also a problem. Yeah, because maybe they are not able to address it directly and speak to it, and especially in rural areas, parents are not able to tell their kids like openly. It's like it's in our culture we are not supposed to speak about this thing, and that's when most of the girls who are pregnant, they didn't even know they are pregnant. Because the parents don't speak even to them. Yeah, so I think it's something that needs to be addressed from the moral point in that area especially.
And Bom, do you think that the songs, Pastor Kevin and Rev Joshua have said that it's not only the songs, but it's something about the morals. Do you think that the songs, not only even in Machakos, because they said they were checking on counties that pregnancy in counties has increased, but in Machakos it's more prevalent. So do you think that these secular songs that are being produced may have caused the way that we are seeing the moral decay in our generation?
I'll start by saying that to some extent I agree with Ezekiel Mutua. He's handling his docket, and his docket is on Kenya Films and Classification Board. And on that part, we have things like film and we have music. So I believe that the music that people are listening to does play a huge role, because what you listen to, it becomes it gets to your heart, and whatever is abundant in the heart, the mouth speaks. Like you will tend to act that way because of what you first had. then when you hear
Yeah.
something, you tend to think about it, and then when you think about it too much, you will act on it. And I've seen Dr. Ezekiel Mutua actually handle his docket so well, because we've had films like Rafiki being banned because it was promoting homosexuality. And then we've had certain kinds of music by Ethic. There's one which was promoting pedophilia by Ethic that was being banned because the musicians were encouraging or enticing people to rape young girls. It was that bad. So when Dr. Ezekiel Mutua talks of music, he doesn't necessarily mean that it's only music that makes that tends to cause such repercussions when we see young people getting pregnant. But I will agree that it plays a role. It has a huge role that it is playing. It's not only in Machakos, but we've seen even cases rise in Kakamega, and it's a very serious matter, because what is coming to our attention is that we have failed in teaching people in sex education. And I know a lot of people will tend to ignore this topic, because when you talk about sex education, someone thinks of the intimate parts. You forget that sex is either you are male or you are female, and these are young girls, these are young boys, so they are growing up. When you don't teach them about them being female and them being males, ukiwambia tu mwachane na sex ama wachana na stories za the opposite sex, they will tend to experiment. They want to experiment. These cases of young girls getting pregnant shows us how much we have failed in that sector, in teaching them, in training them, in molding them. But then again, it has already happened. So we can't disown them or stigmatize them or push them away because now they are pregnant. It's a really serious issue, because it comes with psychological problems. You get, like, there's a lot of psychological trauma that might happen to that child, to the family. And I think another reason as to why this has happened is because of nothing to do. Like, people are idle. Believe you me, people are idle. Do not be deceived. There is no online learning. No online learning is going on. People are idle. Children are idle. Watoto wanacheza, wazazi wako kazi. What do you think those children will be doing? Umewafungia TV? I mean, we need to be real, bana. We need to be real. There is no online learning. Our children are idle. You get? Think about that person mwenye network yake iko chini bana. Anafanya nini? So these are some of the things that we need to look at. Bana. These are the few things we need to look at in knowing the way forward, because it has already happened. We have children now we need to raise. You get? Yeah.
Yes.
So, Pastor Kevin, I have a question. Oh, sorry. Yes? Yes, Joshua, it's okay, yes?
BOM is saying, these are teenagers. We're talking about teenagers, and teenagers, they are, their energy is high. And as BOM is, number one, they're doing nothing. They've been locked in the house because they've been told by their parents, you can't go outside because Anna is out. You get? So inside the house, we have just to music. We have now the new system of music called the gengeton, and that's now the first thing that is making teenagers to lose it. They are losing it to drugs. And the drugs will lead to sexual sex, and then early pregnancies and all that. So, and that's what I think he's talking about when he says about music, because gengeton is that, and like there's this song says when ikifika for 20 unajua nitaishash. You get? So it's time to smoke. In other words, after it's sex time. So this is an idle teenager that is getting information. What happens next? The just girl, if it's a guy or a girl will look for a guy, and then the next. There's nothing they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to do. So I agree. I agree very much on the part of being idle. Being idle, doing nothing, has really contributed to maybe we get to 80 or 90%.
Yeah. And I have a question. One person in the comment section, Ronald says, yes, Bom, watu wafunze kulingana na huo muktadha. Sophie Nyoro says, what can we do to help our children be busy? And since we give solutions to these issues that we discussed, Pastor Kevin, what do you think that we can do, like even as parents at home or even siblings, to make our children, our siblings be busy, and even ourselves, like, cause we are in that generation, we are not old, we are young people, we're in that generation. What can we do to keep ourselves busy, that we don't engage in those things? Because there's this proverb that says an idle mind is the devil's workshop, and truly it is. So what can be done to keep us busy?
So personally, I think like the whole thing of like me engaging you to be busy, it won't really it won't really give the solution. So maybe even before then, maybe we look at the steps that the government has taken, just because this thing has been there for quite some time. Like I was just checking the statistics, and last year alone in 2019, 376,000 children between ages 15 and 19 were pregnant. 20,000 between age 10 to 14. Age 10 to 14, they were pregnant. So I don't think that it is really the whole thing of being busy. I think it's all about purpose. Because even the reason as to why you are maintaining your integrity at this moment, it's not because you lack something to do, but it's just because there is something that you are upholding of greater value compared to if you do it, whatever you are going to get out of it. So I believe that if we can go back to the basics and address it, and maybe I'll give I can use a scripture to justify that one. There is a time in Matthew chapter 19 when the people came and told Jesus that yes, you say that people should not divorce one another once they are married. They should not divorce. But Moses told us that we can divorce. And then Jesus Christ told them that the reason as to why Moses told you to divorce is because your hearts were not right, and that is why, just to prevent everything, he said that you should divorce. But he said one thing, that in the beginning it was not so. So that means that for us to address this thing, we need to go back to the beginning. We need to go back to the beginning. In physics, it's called the first principles. We go back to the first principle so that we reason out, where did this thing start from? Where did this thing start from? And it started from a response from the government. The government, when the in early 2000s, because that is the time when this thing started taking root. The government saw there is a certain slogan, ABC, which was abstain. The number one thing was abstain. The number two thing was be faithful. And then the number three thing was use contraceptive. At that time it was a condom to prevent infections or STIs. But now, after throughout generations, that thing has been scrapped off. So we don't even know anything about abstinence. We don't know anything about abstinence. Now the government is encouraging safe sex. See whatever it's encouraging, safe sex. So whatever happens after that, it becomes now an accident. So it is not addressing the root, which is the heart. So I believe that if we can unite so that we address the heart issues, so that we create value from this out of these children, they get to understand that your value is not defined by the men who approach you. Your value is not defined by what you get, the material things that you get, but the purpose which is in you. I think that one will drive people to make them more conscious and more aware of the things that they are doing. And then the other thing also, because this thing is perpetrated, it is not a lady alone that is setting herself aside, and then all of a sudden it becomes a bubble, and then she's pregnant. it is two people who number one are either agreeing, or one of them is forcing another one. The cases, for example, in Machakos, majority of the cases, they were happening within the family context. So it tells us that if we empower the family itself, most of these things will disappear. But now, what has the society done? The society has neglected the boy child, and then it has focused so much on the lady. So now, what has the boy child seen? I am being neglected. I do not have any value. So now they are retaliating through that. So I think if we can do more, if we can address that in both sides, I think we can reduce that thing. Even aside from the keeping people busy, personally, that is what I think.
Okay. Rev Joshua, what are your thoughts on that? On people being busy?
I agree on what Pastor Kevin is saying. I really agree also on especially on the part of dealing with the heart, dealing from the child is growing up, because some of these children, what they are going through, you find that it's a relative, just as Pastor said, it's a relative doing it. And one of the things that is making them succumb to this is also that family setup. That family setup. There is the family has been ruined in that the relationship between the children and the parents is not there anymore. There's no openness anymore. So a child would rather hide out and do their stuff outside there. There are children who have been molested, but they can't speak about it because that environment at home is not conducive for them to use out. So I really agree also on that part of can be the family first, the family setup, and from there a child is being educated depending on their level. They are being given, they are being told, like Pastor Kev has brought in ABC, which is no longer being practiced. It's no longer taught again. You get, and it should stick A. The A is what should that the parents should stick to. You get, so you should really roll and be taught as the child is growing up. Let sexuality be addressed. Sex education be addressed. Let it be like a lesson from home, whereby I remember when we were young. When I was young, we used to touch our we were told these are my private places. Don't allow people to touch them. And then the girls would be told to touch their chest. And you remember that song?
Yeah.
Remember the song?
These
are my private parts.
People sang that song.
Private parts. These are my private parts, and no one should touch them. No one should see them.
Yes.
Exactly.
No one should play with them.
And that thing, in a way, it brought in some morals. You get?
Yeah.
Really made them. Yeah, it made us to be, when you're growing up, and I think those are the things that should be raised to the families and to the society. You remember, growing up, when you are like young, your neighbor was accountable to you. You get, if you are accountable to your immediate neighbor, they would see you with a boy outside there, and they would pinch you, or you scared even when you see them. So you wouldn't mess. But I think there's a rot in the society in that it begins, don't touch my child, don't correct my child. So that aspect becomes, you will see something wrong, and you, as a neighbor, responsible person, you won't even tell them. So I think that aspect, also adding on the being busy, because there's an age where you just have to keep people busy for them to keep focused. You get, so you
Yeah.
can't rule that out also.
Yeah.
Because the moment
Yes.
they
Yes.
are, like when they're in school, there are things they won't even think. So
Mm-hmm.
that's an addition of we should be done.
Yeah. And as you continue with this topic, I'm thinking that this thing has blew up because we are talking about schoolgirls, right? But normally when we were normal, when everything was normal, as CS Mutahikagwe would say, normally, when things were going on normally,
Yeah.
normally, we were, especially since some of us are here in campus, some have finished, but even in our society, we hear girls, ladies and men engaging in sexual intercourse, and maybe one would get pregnant, commit abortion, or maybe for safe, they'll be like the next day as Subui, they go for a P2. So this thing has just escalated right now because we are talking about school girls, but people don't want to see the bigger picture, that even these people who are not yet married, who are not yet in the financials of a marriage system, are still doing these things. But since the government advocates for safe sex, yeah, iko sawa, but this other one that has led to an unwanted pregnancy is not safe, but theirs is safe. What can you say about that, Bomb?
I will first start by saying I totally agree with you that we are discussing this right now because most of the children are at home. We don't disagree that the numbers have risen, but it's something that has been happening. It's something that has been there. And you see, the word of God says that you teach a child in the ways of the Lord when they are still children, and they will not depart
Yeah.
from that. And I think that is where we go back to the drawing board, that like the way Pastor Mulima said, where did the rain start beating us? You see, I used to have a shirt in Rema, Chill Club. I was in Chill Club. We used to be told about abstaining and all these things. But yeah, chill, you remember?
Yeah.
But right now they are
Squeezing
advocating
is
for
in your piece.
contraceptive, safe sex. Not to repeat myself, that is where now we went wrong. You get, that is where we
Yeah.
went wrong. So because this is something that has been happening, I would say that above all the fear of the Lord stands. That above all the fear of the Lord stands, because these children know a lot of things. We know things that we're not supposed to know at this age. Apparently, like, we know more than our age, because things are changing, seasons are changing. So I would say, as solutions, we need to put this in the syllabus, agreeing with Reverend Joshua that science in primary school just teaches you the reproductive parts in Asia Hapo. And maybe in Siari, because me, I sang that song, these are my private parts in Siari lesson. And that is because the teacher chose to teach us. It wasn't in the syllabus.
Yeah.
So I think we need to incorporate it in the syllabus of our schools, that not only will people be taught about the reproductive parts, but even the morality, the morality in it, the morality sector, that this is the way to go, this is not the way to go. And because it has been happening in our campuses, like it has been happening, we have friends who are not yet married and they have children. We know them, we love them as they are, but this person suffers a psychological issue if they don't go, they don't undergo the right counseling, because this person is still a young girl. Truth be told, this person is a young girl but a mother. So there are some things that they will suddenly stop doing as young girls, suddenly all of a sudden stop doing, because they now have a responsibility to take care of someone else, not only the girls but even the male child. Like, this person is not stable enough to raise up another human being, so they tend to be crushed. They do a lot of things, they suffer psychological problems. And if they don't, they are not properly cancelled, because we take it as normal. That's the problem. We think it is normal. Squeezy kupata mtoi ni kawaida, hata yeye amepata mtoi. That is the language that is there in this society that needs to change, and we are the ones to change it. These people need to go for counseling so that they don't regress, because umse atakuwa mzazi wa 40 years, 30 years, and if we don't cancel them right now, if we stop ignoring that it's normal and cancel them, we will prevent history from repeating itself. Because I personally know of parents who have encouraged their children to go get children. It is happening in our society. A parent encourages the child, ule sijui yako aje nini nini, you go have a baby. It's happening. It is real, and history will keep on repeating itself if we don't deal with it now. Cancel them, so that when they raise up those children, they raise them right. They raise them in the right ways. So number one, incorporate in the syllabus. Number two, cancel the people who already have children. And number three, families. I've not had this talk with my parents. I have not had this talk at all with them, because that is why I'm saying it should be incorporated in the schools, because mwalimu, it's easier for a teacher to actually do the talking with the students more than it is with kwa hao naambiana nini na mzae, tunakaa tuambiane nini, yes. And that's actually an issue, but it happens. And sometimes we have parents who are not there for their children, not that they don't want to, but mtu ni too busy to the extent amelipia mtoto boarding school. We have nothing against them, but because of their responsibilities and them needing to provide, they take their children to boarding school. So they don't have that rapport with their children because they don't have much time with them. But if this could be incorporated in the syllabus, you are safe as a parent, because we are also growing up to be those parents. You know, you are secure that your child is getting the right things in that segment, in that topic. Yes, that's my take.
Okay.
And maybe to add something, just to add something on whatever Bom is saying, but maybe I would recommend a different approach. I think it is better, for instance, right now, if you are asked, let's assume that you do not have any spiritual teachings between your teacher and your father and your mother and your parents. Whom do you respect more, and whom will you honor their word more between the two? It's a question.
Okay.
Should be the parent.
Yeah.
Oh, we answer.
It should be the parent.
The parent.
Yeah. So it should be the parent. So that whole thing, it's so important, because if you do your statistics, your research, you'll find statistics say that the people who their parents spent time to educate them about sex education, until now they have preserved themselves. Do you know why? Because there is power in the law of first mention. Where you hear the word first, it tends to stick more and it has got weight. So now when we neglect this thing, and then these children, these teenagers, they hear the first the word sex, or they hear these contraceptives first, they hear the word P2s in among their friends, then it becomes they are so heavily in the context of their friends that they will do anything because their friends know more about them concerning the whatever they are doing, whatever those items are, whatever the activities. So they will tend to follow them more, because they feel that you know more, so I will just follow you. But if we can take this approach so that parents are encouraged to teach the children, and not just leaving the responsibility to teachers, because teachers, they just add some small knowledge, but it is the parent who takes the responsibility of grooming the child, bringing him in all sorts of wisdom and everything. And then also, just to add something, maybe the action that we need to take. If you read the scripture in the book of Judges, there is something that there is a verse that says, I think it's in verse 1, chapter 1. It says that there arose a generation that knew not God. There arose a generation that did not know God. But if you follow that, these are the children of Israel. In fact, they are called after God, but they do not know God. So it simply means that there was some disconnection. There was a generation gap, a generation where they forgot the teachings of God. And it is the same thing that right now we can also say that there arose a generation which know not ABC. They do not know anything. So it is now up to us to start bringing up these things, so that, and making sure that they are continuous, so that they are conscious within themselves. Yeah, so that would be my take.
Okay. Rev Joshua, as we wind up, your take?
Yeah. I think also just to add on what my colleagues have just said is bring God back to school.
Yes.
And
Yes.
back to homes.
Exactly.
Because that's what during the time there was like ABC and all that stuff, there was push from the church. There was, when God was being pushed in schools, and that is what was being taught. But when you remove God from institutions, anything can replace can be like a replacement, and that's why all these things are coming up. So I think there need to be that strong push of bringing back God in schools, and not only in the primary or secondary, but even in the campus. Even in the campus, like God need to go back and be instilled, just as Pastor saying, where did connect? Like there was a generation that knows no God. And that's exactly what is happening. Many people you see, there's a generation out here that don't have the fear of God. They don't have a relationship with God, and that they are missing it, because the children of Israel who knew God, that generation, despite the fact that they made us, but they understood to run to. They understood it. You get?
Yes.
But now I think the biggest challenge we have is a generation that doesn't even understand that even when they make a mistake, they don't know where to run to. So they end up running to the extreme part. You get?
Right.
They run to the extreme part, and that's when because they've gone to the extreme and they cannot save themselves, and they can't run to God, they don't know God, they end up saying there's no. That's the generation we are in right now. So I think that should be like championed and campaigned towards bringing back God.
Awesome. It's been a really, really awesome show. And to our viewers and everyone watching this episode and talking on teenage pregnancies, I hope you have learned something and you have gotten a solution. Even if you're a parent, we are saying we bring back that talk into our homes, into our schools, and also back to the church, that we educate our children. Isikwe children wanna watch about either sex education from other channels or Google or YouTube. Like these days, Google is on our fingertips. Like if you want to know what this word means, or umesikia tu mahali una Google, you get. But
Google has all answers.
Uncle Google will sort us out. Uncle Google will sort us out. So if you're watching, if you're watching this, let us also spread that gospel of that abstinence is the way, and all these things we can be able to stay pure. You know, as we wind up, there's one verse for me that literally blew my mind, that will always be on my mind. Is from my favorite book in the Bible, and that's Psalms chapter 119. There's a verse that says that how can a young man keep his ways pure? And it says it's by obeying the word of God. Like God did not even say how can a man. It says how can a young. God understood the magnitude of the things that young people go through, the extent that the young people go through, and how can they keep their ways pure is by obeying the word of God. And that is what we are pushing through. I want to thank our panelists for Monday, #panelist Monday. Firebrand Pastor Kevin, thank you so much. Firebrand Boom, I love your hair, and a happy birthday from Firebrand Nation. Happy birthday. You have reached the big 2. We shall not say the other number. We shall keep your age a secret. Thank you, Firebrand. Thank you so much, Firebrand Reverend Joshua, for coming on. I don't know if we are going to have that dance, but maybe this time, let us save Pastor Kevin. We shall do it next Monday when we have given him time to practice. We want to save the boy child.
Still joke.
I told you.
Lord, I give you all the
No, we have to do this. Your studio pose for a minute. Aye, they are ready, Pastor Kevin. They are ready. We have to. Let us stand. They are ready. Yes.
We are ready.
Stand up. We have to finish the show.
My bundles become as
Unatumia Wi-Fi. Stand up. Utatumiwa saa hii kama una bundle. Stand up.
Twende.
We have to stand. Aya, sawa. We are ready?
Yes.
Aya, studio. 1, 2, 3, go.
Still joke. Lord, I give you all the glory, and I give you all the honor, yeah, for everything that you do, yeah. I'm a praise your name, I'm a praise your name.
That was an awesome one. What? Anyway, from us to you guys, bye. Remember to love God, love others passionately. That is all for us. Bye.
Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you would like to join the Firebrand Nation movement, go to our website at www.firebrandnation.com, sign up and someone will get in touch with you. Also follow us on our social media handles at Firebrand Nation on Instagram and YouTube, and Firebrand and Firebrand Nation KE on Facebook. Remember to love God and love others passionately.